Hello guys, it's me, TONIK TZW, and I think I'm going to be contradicting myself with this video because I did a video a short while ago where Wargaming announced that they're bringing back the Yudachi for Global XP, and whereas the Yudachi was an absolute nightmare of a ninja boat when it was first released, we didn't have a lot of radar in the game, we didn't have a lot of long-range sonar, we didn't have aircraft carrier in the games, and it was the absolute bane of battleship captains everywhere, because the Yudachi had the original wall of skill, because you had two sets of 4 torpedoes followed by a torpedo reload booster which was 8 seconds long, and you could put out another 2 sets of 4 torpedoes, giving you 16 torpedoes launched within 8 seconds of each other. It's one more than the Yudachi's 15, but it isn't quite as quick as getting all 15 off a Shimakaze. But what I did say about the Yudachi is that perhaps it isn't the best destroyer, or it isn't as good a destroyer as it used to be, because now that we have aircraft carriers, tier 8, legendary, long-range sonar, battleships that are running anything from 10 to 12k plus secondaries, and there are quite a few of them out there now. Looking at you, Brandenburg, Bismarck, Schlieffen, and I can't remember the name of the new Italian battleship that's got some crazy secondaries on it, but the Atlantico is another one with crazy secondaries. It is a very different world out there in the world of destroyers, but that isn't to say that you can't make the world your oyster. And this was one of those games, and I'm going to throw it straight out there online tonight, that we perhaps didn't have everything against us that we might face in a single game, although we have had that and barely got through it, and often in many cases we haven't got through those games with radar cruisers, battleships with 12k secondaries, aircraft carriers and gunboat destroyers. Honestly, it is a tough life as a destroyer captain, and you almost do have to have your head on a 360 swivel on your shoulders to survive. But these two Iowa captains obviously don't have their heads screwed on correctly, because those salvos of torpedoes go screaming through that gap. And although we do take a solo cap, there are a couple of friends here that try to pick up those two ships. I do put my guns out there thinking I can get a kill on this. But also a little notice to aircraft carrier captains. If you have a destroyer that is pinging the map, that generally means that their twist and track is telling them that there is something out there. Now, at the start of this game, you would have seen that there was a Yudachi, probably with his engine boost on, hightailing it straight across A-cap in front of those two Iowas. And what he is trying to do is flank you so that he can come down and deliver a full salvo of murderfish into your broadside. So pay attention to what is going on the map. Your destroyers will tell you what is going on. Well, at least I will. I will always do this. If you see me in a game and we are on the same time, you will constantly see me pinging the map. Now, we have just been in there, we have just taken a solo cap. Red team have got a cap, and there is one cap that is not going on. And I can't remember what I was looking at there in regards to the possible. Oh, I'll tell you what I was doing here. I was sending him a message that said, left side Yudachi. I'm not sure whether he got the message sent. I'm not sure whether or not he was able to see it. But I was talking on mic and saying, left side, destroyer, Yudachi, he's coming to get you. pinging the map. I couldn't have done much else apart from go across there and bump him, but I decided that my efforts were needed elsewhere because we weren't yet winning this game. We might have been a ship up, but there are other ships out there, and look, we have another Yudachi hiding behind the rock, and I was like, really? What are you doing tucked in behind there? Was he waiting to ambush one of our team? Well, guess what, mate? I'm afraid it's not going to work. You're spotted now. I'm putting my torps out. They are widespreads. I'm going to turn and use the smoke to cover and drop detection. But we can just get our guns on here. And I'm lucky in that the team are paying attention. And somebody puts a shot on him as I put my salvo in. But I do get the kill out of that one. We get away from those torpedoes, so there we go, 2 spreads of 4, and they're quite fast and they're quite long range, so we're out of the way of those. We're getting the guns around to the other side, and what we're going to do now is push into B cap, because red team have the advantage in caps even if they don't have the advantage in ships. But that Yudachi that was on the flank has just disappeared, so I think somebody finally got the message about that little ninja boat trying to steam it full tilt down the side of the map. So we haven't really been bothered by the carrier or by a radar cruiser or by gunboat destroyers in this map, but we've tried to play to the strengths of this boat in maintaining a distance of standoff, in using our good concealment to get in on the caps to spot and keep spotted the enemy ships without being detected ourselves, and using the power of those torpedoes to knock ships off the map. Now with this, I think it's a Gneiss now out there pushing in. I'm relatively close to detection, but I've got just enough space, or not just enough breathing space, to move through this capture point, because what I'm thinking is if he turns towards me, I can turn out of the other end of this cap. But the team are doing a sterling job here, which is leaving me with the ability to do what I need to do, which is A, spotting, B, capturing the capture points, and then C, killing any targets that I'm able to. And I'm thinking if I can get a fire on that guy and he can damage control it, then if we can get torpedoes on it, we might be able to get a sinking shot. But we're trying to use that little bit of island whilst keeping our eyes peeled for aeroplanes which could detect us as we fire. And the enemy aircraft carrier is a Pobeda. Now there are only 2 ships left in the game, and one is that guy over there who is not going to be long of this world, and the aircraft carrier. But to make sure that we aren't going to run the risk of losing this game at all, and kind of proving that the Yudachi is still relevant in this game if it is played to its strengths, it was a very good game. So I'm pinging the map with where the carrier is to tell our carrier where he is, and we're not interested in hunting the carrier. You'll notice that I'm not hunting the carrier, I'm hunting the caps, because the caps are XP, the caps give us an advantage, and even if this guy was to take out a few more ships, including myself, then we do still have the advantage, because even though that carrier is fast, there is no way he can get around these caps with the team that we have left with us. So we've played to the strengths of the ship, we've used our concealment, we've used our torpedoes, we've used our ability to track and trace. Oh no, that's the COVID thing, isn't it? Track and trace. Yeah, we've used our ability to track enemy ships and pinpoint their location to alert the team to the dangers that are around them, and then we are going to continue on this cap, and there ahead of us is the enemy carrier. Now, up until this point, all I'm interested in the caps, and as this one ticks down, this is going to be 3 completely solo caps, A, B and C, all the way from one side of the map to the other, with just under 100k damage to our tally, which I think was mostly those 2 IOs at the start. But we're going to finish it off with a flurry and bring it home with a dev strike and a high caliber by taking care of the torpedo. And that is game over. 155,000 damage, only 2 kills, but a high caliber and a dev strike. And it's rather significantly large, 3,397 base XP, which is quite significant, and we take home around 600,000 silver. So the Yudachi, I think, in the right hands, and that's going to be a caveat of this, in the right hands, it is still a relevant destroyer to play, but you do need to understand what you are up against on the enemy team. I hope you have enjoyed this one. It was a fun game to play, fast and furious. Until next time, take care and goodbye.